If you'd kept your mouth shut, you could have had a cut.
Mr. Bullock, I don't know why you're here, but I have a very busy day and I do not intend to sit here listening to this.
Open your eyes, woman. This sort of stuff goes on everywhere. Everybody's got their own little racket going, taking a rake off somehow or other. I was just getting my little share when you got in the way.
I'll give you the option of leaving now, or I'll call the police and let them remove you.
Don't scare me.
We were wondering how you'd feel about taking a seat on the Supreme Court bench.
The opportunity of a lifetime.
Of course, it would help if you dropped the Daphne Graham case.
It's my mother. She's in the hospital.
Hospital?
I had a call at work. She's taken a massive overdose of pills. If Dad hadn't found her, she would have been dead by now. It's because of me. Because of us, she hates me.
Sorry, Anne's not home.
I'll wait if that's all right.
No, it's not all right. You'll just have to come back later. Goodbye.
I'm not asking you to entertain me. I just want to wait for Anne, that's all. We could chat about floral arrangements if you like. I hear you're rather good at them.
If you must wait, then wait in the car. That way I won't have to put up with you at all, will I?
Get a load of this!
What is going on?
What do you reckon, eh?
Is this your idea of a joke or not?
Jealous you didn't have the idea first.
Bloody little fool. What do you think's going to happen now?
Oh, come off your high horse. Just a bit of a hoot, eh, girls?
Little stranger point to let us have this paper in the first place. Now you're blowing it completely.
I always knew you weren't to be trusted.
What are we going to do?
Gutless wonders, it's getting so you can't even have a go at the screws no more.
We're going to have to scrap these and print up some proper ones. I want them all brought back now.
Right. If you don't mind.
Get nicked. Since when did you lot become chief official censors anyway?
Since we don't want to charge. Now, come on, hand them over.
Come on, Lex, on the editor.
Break off! I want them as souvenirs.
Souvenirs of all the nerve.
Come on, put them in a pile here. Come on.
Well, how are the budding journalists? When does the paper come up?
Won't be long now. We're still doing practice runs.
That's not it.
It's rubbish. First try, that's all.
Oh, here's one.
No, it's not the right one.
Oh, come on. I'm sure it's terrific.
What on earth?
Yes, well, she would have phoned you herself, Dr. Malone, but I'm afraid she's very distressed. So I thought I ought to for both of us. Well, I would like to be able to take Terry to visit her mother in the hospital, but well, there seems to be some misunderstanding. They said that you wouldn't allow her to... Surely, Dr. Malone, it would benefit everyone if they could at least talk about what's happened. I see. And you won't reconsider? Yes, well, I must say, I think it's very poor that her own parents can't...
Well, what did he say?
Well, she's coming along nicely, but not quite up to having visitors just yet.
He doesn't want to know about me, does he?
Terry, I'm sure he didn't mean that. I mean, given time... Oh, come on, Terry, you're just going to have to snap out of this. And maybe it was an accident after all. Perhaps she didn't really mean to harm herself.
It was no accident. They just can't accept it.
Were you waiting long?
No, not really.
I'm afraid I'm a bit later than usual. I had a bit of trouble with a broken windscreen.
It's bad luck. Look, I hope you don't mind my bothering you here at home, but it's
No,
rather...
of course not. Why didn't you wait inside? People would have made you a coffee.
There was a report on the radio I wanted to hear. Pretty boring stuff to anyone else.
Well, what do you think of this? Oh, hello.
Looks rather good.
Interesting. What is it?
Oh, I think it might be a little out of your area. It's called Style. I'll leave you both to it.
Well, sit down.
Thank you. I wanted to break the news personally. I've been offered a place on the Supreme Court bench.
Ben, that's wonderful. You must be about the youngest ever. Congratulations.
Thank you. I won't deny I've been angling for the job, but I really think I can make a substantial contribution.
I'm sure you will. Look, it's nearly dinner time. Why don't you stay? We can break out the champers and help you celebrate.
Yes, I'd like that, thank you. It's a big chance, all right, but there's one complication, however. I don't think I could take the Graham case. Well, I don't see how I could. The appointment may not interfere, but the case could all be over by then. But then again, it may not.
Where does that leave Daphne?
Well, I'll be going out of my way to see it doesn't jeopardize her chances, of course. She's a top lawyer, best advice money can buy. Goes without saying, all the legal costs will be taken care of.
I see.
I'm afraid the wheels of the legal profession grind rather slowly. A position was mentioned some time ago, before Daphne's case came up. I thought I'd be free to take it, that it was all swept under the carpet, but unfortunately...
Can't be helped. Can I get you a drink?
Please. Of course, it's all highly confidential at this stage. I'd like to break the news to Daphne myself, if that's all right with you.
You're crazy. You know that?
Just having a bit of fun.
At whose expense? Did you ever stop to think of that?
Got a laugh, didn't it? Girls up in B Block loved it.
What? You mean you handed them out all the way down there? I don't believe this.
It just goes to show it's what the girls want. Sick of having to play goody two-shoes 24 hours a day.
Terrific. You know what's going to happen now, don't you?
So, the screws will be a bit stirred up for a while.
They'll be more than stirred up. They'll be down on us like a ton of bricks.
What can they do? Don't even know who wrote it.
They know Daphne's the editor. But I suppose you've already thought of that.
What do you mean?
She'll get the blame, not you, along with the others who worked on it. You probably had it all figured out. I mean, you've been hassling Daphne enough about being editor.
She was really looking forward to it, Lex. Well, so let her next time.
If there is a next time. You're not going to get away with it, Lexi. I'm not going to let the other women take the blame for your stupidity. You're in this on your own.
So I'm shivering in my boots!
You're getting to be really nasty, Lex.
Daphne's so vulnerable. She's attached to the idea of you being the one to defend her and to chop and change at this stage.
Oh, I don't know. Daphne's responsive to sincere people. I think she'd rather have someone with real commitment to take a case. Someone who wouldn't just walk out on her the minute something better came along.
As I told Anne, she'll be represented by the best in the business.
Someone with a few principles, even.
Pippa, that's enough. Excuse me.
You do know what principles are, don't you, Ben? You know those things people believe in and stand up for? With your sense of commitment, you ought to be a terrific success on the bench.
Must be wonderful to be so perfect. You must tell me one day what the secret is, or does it just come naturally?
You patronizing
You
chauvinist.
get a great kick out of giving it, but you don't like taking it, do you? It's about time you grew up.
Is that grown up enough for you, Ben?
Nothing like equality, is there? 15 all.
Oh, Mrs. Morris.
Jones, something's come up. May I come in?
Yes. We've just heard that Terry's mother is seriously ill.
Oh, I am sorry. I didn't mean to intrude, but I thought you should see this.
What is it?
Most of the women have seen it already, I'm afraid. I thought you should know before you go to work tomorrow.
Why do they have to be so cruel?
It's typical. I warned the governor they'd take advantage of that printing press.
I'm sure Mrs. Reynolds had every reason, Jones.
It still doesn't help Terry, does it, knowing that her mother is so seriously ill and then having to read sick jokes like this. Mrs. Morris, would you mind?
Yes, of course. I'll see myself out.
Thank you.
Well, that was sensational. I should have met you years ago. Mind you, I'd be 20 pounds heavier by now.
Glad you liked it.
Where did you get that recipe?
Oh, I whipped it up as I went. Never did go for traditional beef Wellington. Too dull.
Oh, well, that certainly wasn't dull. The sauce was delicious.
Espanol special, I call it.
Pardon?
Espanol sauce with some special Pringle touches. Actually, my aunt who deserves the credit, not me. Had a wonderful sense of invention, she did.
Well, I don't know how you do it. Must be a wonderful gift to have. Just a pity more people don't know about it. Just a minute. I was reading about a cooking competition. Now, it was in a magazine. Yes, in here somewhere. Oh, yes, here it is. Listen to this. $3,000 plus a microwave for the winning entry. You send in your recipe, experts evaluate it, and if they select yours, you're invited in for the final cook-off. Sounds exciting, doesn't it?
Yeah, but they'd be professionals.
But so are you, Mervyn.
I'm only a prison cook, love.
Oh, come on. That beef Wellington of yours would be in with a terrific chance.
Nice of you to suggest it, but I'm not in that class, not to compete with all those experts.
Oh, my guess is they're trying to kill us. There's no way this stuff will get all the way through. Probably get jammed up somewhere.
Bit below par for you, isn't it, Mr. P?
I've done what I could. There's no butter, no cheese, hardly any milk even.
Don't worry, Merv. If things get too bad, we might have to roast you on the spit.
Looks like it'd be pretty tender if you ask me.
I can see I better keep my eye on you lot.
Right, toast, it's barbaric.
I read somewhere that charcoal on toast is good for cleaning your teeth, sort of like sandpaper.
Red, where to buy a new brain yet?
Knock it off. That's enough trouble.
Sorry, I breathe.
Well, we're sorry you got involved with the newspaper.
Yeah. Miss Ferguson's going to think it's me sent her up because I'm the editor.
Well, you won't be alone, love. Anyone who had anything to do with the paper's going to be in for it.
Oh, I hardly think that's fair. We didn't know she was going to be so irresponsible, did we?
Somehow, I don't think that'll make much difference. Not when the freak gets back. Morning, Joyce.
Morning.
Oh,
Meg.
any word on this car business, Mrs. Reynolds?
I've got Greg looking out for any suspicious-looking characters in case Bullock tries anything else. Here are these papers I was telling you about, at least all the copies I could find so far. I mean, they've been circulated right throughout the prison. I'm not surprised. Have them burnt immediately, will you? Yes, I've already organised that.
It's not like Laura to allow this to happen.
Whatever the reason, I'm not impressed. I went out on a limb to get that printing press. They seem determined to abuse every privilege they get.
I took a copy over to Joan and Terry last night. I thought they should know.
It's not as though they've been all that discreet. Even I overheard them talking, as I was saying to you, Meg.
Seem to be the only one in the dark around here.
Tell Joan and Terry to report to my office as soon as they come in.
Yes, of course. Oh, Mrs. Reynolds, I'm afraid the food supplies are becoming quite a problem. We're running very low on some items, processed foods mainly.
How did Mervyn manage at breakfast?
Well, apparently there were a lot of complaints, but he hasn't got anything left to cook with.
What about the emergency supplies? Aren't they coming in?
Well, I rang the suppliers, as you said, but no one seemed to want to help. They all want cash and the guarantee of a long-term contract.
Yes, well, I tried one or two myself. Same thing.
Damn. I'm going to ring the minister. It's about time the department sorted out their own mess. The last thing I need is a prison full of starving women. You should have told me earlier. You do realize you were leaving yourselves open to blackmail? Still, I suppose what's done is done. Now we have to clean up the mess. Obviously, we have to find out who was responsible for it.
Yes, Governor.
I realize there are precedents for relationships between prison officers, but in your case there is another dimension, and I'm worried that the women will take advantage of it.
We've hardly flaunted it.
Yet the women and some of the officers seem to know all about it.
With respect, Governor, rumours like this often get out of hand. Surely the solution is to punish the women.
I wish it were as simple as that. But as governor, I'm obliged to report the incident to the department.
I may be mistaken, Governor, but I have always thought that our private lives
I've
were our
already
own.
decided what I'm going to do, Mrs. Reynolds. I'll be handing in my resignation today.
I don't think we need to go
I've
that
made up my
far.
mind. It's the best thing for all of us.
This is just what the women want. If we let them succeed
I'm
with
sorry,
this, it's...
Joan. I've made up my mind. You'll have my written resignation before lunch.
Now, if you swirl it like so...
I haven't seen anyone do potatoes like that since Switzerland.
They'll never appreciate it, Mr. P.
Well, hopefully it'll keep their minds off the small portions. Now, we have to bake this in a hot oven for about 10 minutes, just till it's brown on top. Then we add the rest.
Which is?
To tell the truth, I'm not sure yet. Has anyone had to look and see how much flour's left?
About half a teaspoon.
Oh, dear.
There's still plenty of rice.
Rice and mashed potatoes. Terrific.
Perhaps I could whip up some sort of special dish. saffron rice, something like that.
Oh, it's all the department's fault. If they could get someone honest to run things for a change.
So you know what's happened?
Julie told us about the invoices. They're worse crooks than we are up there.
Well, we'd better get back to the matter in hand. Could you start washing those and I'll add them to the rice? And you better boil some water. Add the salt to the water before it boils and squeeze a half a lemon into it.
Come on, Mr. P, it's not your fault.
I know that, but I feel so awful. It's so unfair to all of you.
Well, cheer up. At least you know we won't be getting scurvy in a hurry.
No, Mrs. Reynolds, I never would have thought of doing that.
Do you have some explanation for what happened then? Well?
I don't know, Mrs. Reynolds.
You must have some idea. You are the editor.
No, I don't know nothing.
She's telling the truth, Mrs. Reynolds. It was nothing to do with her.
I see. Take Graham back, Mrs. Morris, will you? I'll finish the conversation with Flynn.
No one meant any harm by it, Mrs. Reynolds. True dinks they didn't.
Come along, Graham.
Well, what the hell's going on? Who's behind it?
Like Daphne said, it was someone's idea of a joke. A bad joke, I admit.
Also a chargeable offence. Now I want the name of the person behind it.
You know I can't give you that.
Flynn, if you think I'm going to sit back and be made a fool of over this, you've got another thing coming. I'm perfectly prepared to suspend all privileges indefinitely for all the women if I don't have that name.
Believe me, it was as much a shock to us as it was to you. If you just give us the chance, I know we can get the one responsible to own up.
I've had enough of giving you the chance. You've completely abused my trust at every turn.
Well, at least hold off just for a little while. If we can't get her to own up, then okay. Clobber us all.
I'll give you 24 hours. If no one owns up in that time, privileges will be suspended indefinitely, and the press will be shipped out immediately.
Why resign? Surely we can ride this thing out. In a couple of weeks, they'll have forgotten.
In a couple of weeks, I'll be settled into a new job where it doesn't matter anyway. Mrs. Reynolds is right, Joan. We can't just pretend nothing's happened. At best, they'll transfer me out to the country somewhere. Neither of us want that.
Oh, hello, you two. Not interrupting anything, am I?
No.
Well, how's everything going?
You mean, how did we get on with the governor? You just can't wait to find out, can you?
Now, come on, that's not fair. I know what you're going through. Mervyn and I had to come under the same scrutiny when we decided to be together.
It's hardly the same sort of scrutiny, is it?
I'm resigning as from today. Mrs. Reynolds has agreed to let me finish up tonight rather than work through my notice.
Oh, you had to resign?
I didn't exactly have to. I thought it best, that's all.
Wasn't talking to get that far. I'm glad I found you all together. The department's finally sorting out the food supply problem. Looking into it anyway. I'm expecting word later today.
And what about the newspaper? Have you decided on a punishment for the women?
Looks as though it was the work of just one person.
Oh, come on, they're all in on it, even if it only took one to run them off.
I've decided to give Flynn some extra time to persuade the culprit to come forward.
The rest get off scot-free, I suppose.
Whoever's responsible will be punished. That's where it rests. Oh, there's one more thing. The department's decided to try out a new youth rehabilitation scheme. They're talking about sending us some juvenile first offenders in the hope of letting them see what's in store for them if they keep going the way they are.
Oh, I saw something about that on television. An American program called Scared Straight, I think.
I've had some very good results. And that's why they've decided to try it out here.
Oh, a psychologist's claptrap.
The idea is that the women act as advisors to the girls, show them all the reasons not to end up in a place like this. And naturally, the final go-ahead has to come from the women themselves. The program depends on their support.
Yes, and there won't be any extra staff to play these games, I suppose. Just something else to fill up our spare time.
Well, surely even you'd be happy to prevent them from being sent to prison.
I'm more concerned with the way officers are being treated.
We've been through that already. It was Terry's decision.
Maybe. Still, I'm sure the union would be very interested to know that we are now required to babysit a bunch of juvenile delinquents who would be better off with a damn good spanking.
All I was doing was giving the girls a bit of a laugh. You'd reckon I'd kill someone.
You've got two choices. Either you tell Reynolds you did it, or you get punished by the council.
Whose side are you on, anyway? You sounded more like a screw than a screw. Speak of the devil. You made the front page, Miss Malone.
Lexi.
You've got what you wanted. I've resigned from Wentworth. Are you leaving because of that article in the paper? That's right. I reckon we got a right to know if we're being guarded by a pack of weirdos.
Do you mind repeating that, Patterson?
Oh, Just joking, Miss Ferguson. You know me, always in for a laugh. Didn't mean nothing by it.
I'm sure you didn't. I'll take over now, Miss Malone. Well, we've had a real cosy truce lately, haven't we? Good chums, very matey, doing the right thing by one another. And then I see this. And so, it's back to square one, ladies.
You saw what happened with the freak. We had her laying off us for a change. And now, thanks to you, she's going to come down on us harder than ever.
If you want to be that irresponsible, at least do it without involving the rest of us.
As if the food isn't bad enough without having to swallow you and your mad stunts on top of it.
Okay, so you've waved your big stick. What happens now?
What happens now, young lady, is that you get the punishment you deserve.
You front up to Reno and tell her you were the only one behind it.
No bloody way. I told you before, I am not doing it. Look, there is no way the freak's going to try anything. She's in the poo because I've been on with Malone. She'll be out in a bum in 5 seconds if she does.
I take it you aren't going to volunteer.
Why should I? They all thought it was funny.
Not everyone, Lex.
Okay, ask Lurch. You got a laugh, didn't you?
Yeah, when it happened. Don't seem so funny now, though.
Oh.
Not if we're all going to lose buy-up.
And the rest.
Oh, you're carrying on like a bunch of virgins. Okay, so we lose a few privileges. It is not the first time. Lurch here loses hers every second week.
For what she does. But we're not just talking about her, we're talking about all of us in this room. In this whole prison. That's about 50 women all going to lose buy-up on account of your brilliant idea of a joke. I don't think they're going to be too happy about it, do you?
Yeah, well, I'm for her being forced to front up to Reno.
Oh, change the record, will you?
I think you better change your attitude. You've got a numbers game at stake here, you know.
What's that got to do with anything?
We gave you permission to run it, remember? We can just as easily take it away.
Bloody hell, you like to make things hard for people?
Oh, I suppose you don't.
And what about how Daffy feels, Lex? She really wanted this paper to work.
We all did.
Okay, let's look at the options. Supposing you don't own up. You're going to have to suffer with us anyway. No buy-ups, no luxuries. Just work and moping around the rec room.
And no numbers game?
Too right.
Judging from the mood in this room, I can't see much support for it. And then there's the question of the freak. She's going to find out who did it, Lexi. Maybe not tomorrow or next week, or next month even. But sooner or later, she's going to find out. And she won't be too happy you didn't own up. I can promise you that.
That's when you're going to need friends, dear. And the way you're going, I'll be surprised if you have any left at all.
Well, Lexi, what's it going to be?
I wonder what's happening in there, Jen.
Using up all our rec time, that's what.
Look, if we don't get this newspaper business sorted out, we'll be lucky to be left with that. I hope they're not being too hard on Lex.
You were just going off at her a minute ago. Something about her wrecking your chances of the Pulitzer Prize.
Leave her alone. Not everyone's incapable of forgiving people. It's just her way of having a laugh, that's all. She didn't mean nothing.
Well, she didn't mean nothing. Don't tilt your head sideways, Graham. The screws will fall out.
It's my fault, isn't it? I should never have let her do it. I shouldn't have even given her the chance.
Hey, come on, don't blame yourself. No one knew Lexi would do something like that.
It's because I'm dumb and stupid. One of them jinxes. Every time I try and do something that goes wrong.
Hey, come on, don't be silly. It's just one little incident. I mean, you won the numbers game, didn't you? And the essay competition.
Yeah.
Graham, Mr. Fulbright's here to see you.
Oh, great.
Come along.
See, your luck's changed again.
Yes, see ya. Not being very fair on Daffy, you know.
Oh, yeah? What are you, the guardian angel or something?
Look, I just think her self-esteem's low enough at the moment without you pulling it down further. Don't you go spouting those self-esteems at me, Granny Masher. I reckon we're going to be spending a lot of time together after they find you guilty. You want to get through in one piece, you lay off the sermons.
It's not that I don't want to get involved in your case, Daphne. It's just that... I don't know how to put this exactly.
I thought you wanted to help me.
I do. You won't be left high and dry, I promise.
I knew you'd get sick of it. Probably wishing it was somebody brainier than me, eh?
Please understand, I want to take your case. It's just that there's other things come up. The only reason I'm going ahead with it is because I know you'll be well looked after.
It's because you don't like me. You never did you? I'm just a whole lot of facts and figures on that fancy file of yours.
Daphne, I do like you. I like you very much. Daphne, I know on the surface it must seem as if I'm deserting you, but this offer to go to the Supreme Court is the most important thing in my career, in my whole life.
Great.
And I wouldn't do it if I wasn't 100% certain that you'd be in the best possible hands now, would I? It'll all work out for the best in the long run. Believe me.
Hey, don't suppose you could swap us a couple of ciggies, could you?
What for? You just lost my app. It hardly puts you in the market.
Yeah, I know, but I thought seeing as though I fronted up to Reno and got you off the hook, you could give us some on future credit against future goodies.
Don't go playing martyr. We practically have to drag you up there to do it.
I'm afraid she's right, young lady. Besides, I'm not in the habit of giving credit. I can tell you that.
Yeah, well, don't come running to me when your precious stock's down low.
We wouldn't be so hard on you if you weren't so good at picking the wrong target. Now think about it.
Hey, why don't you try smoking a few tea leaves?
I'll see if I can spare your fag later, okay?
Thanks.
What is it, though?
Oh, it's Mr. Fulbright. He's dropping me case.
What do you mean, dropping it?
Oh, he's just going to go to some other court. It's down a real big time.
What's happening about it? Did he say anything about who's taking it over?
Oh, yeah. Yes, he's got somebody else going to look after me, but he just hasn't got enough time, I suppose.
Got wise, did he, Duck Road?
Have some compassion. You can see she's upset.
That's the trouble with them lawyers. Promise you everything, give you nothing.
Yeah, probably been hired by some rich bitch for Big Vicky's act.
No, that's not it. See, I reckon he just doesn't like me. I don't blame him. I haven't got a lot going for me, have I?
Oh, yeah, you have, Daffy. You've got... Oh, geez. Nah, guess you're right. Ain't got much going for you anyhow.
Lexi!
Oh, all right, girls. Who's coming to stir up the Reynolds tour?
Go easy, Kelly. The last thing we want is more strife.
Think it's about time she got paid back for stirring up her own, eh?
We meet again.
Hello, Ben. About last night. I was trying to take advantage of being a woman, expecting you not to hit back. Shouldn't make any difference, should it?
I disagree. Vive la différence.
Right, Miss Reynolds, you can take them through now.
What? No files or sawn-off shotguns?
Just following orders. Of course, you could always complain to the governor.
When does your class finish?
In about an hour or so, why?
Oh, itinerary for the rest of the day. Class, home to change, cocktails with Ben, then dinner. Now, what could be better?
Appealing, but I'm booked up tonight.
Can't be important. Cancel it. I'll see you at the gate.
Okay, ladies, when you come to it, you're going to have to be very careful with the paint so it runs smoothly down the edge.
We'll have to go one together, eh, Dad?
Okay. This is lovely, lady. It's great. It's a good turnout, isn't it? I knew they'd appreciate the classes in the long run.
Yeah, look, Pip, I'm a bit worried. I think some of them might...
Hey, what are you reckon about the artwork now it's finished?
Quiet down, ladies! We don't want the officers upsetting the classes, do we?
Hey, what do you reckon, miss?
Well, I think you could have chosen a darker colour for the cape.
Oh, yeah.
And the background needs a little bit more contouring. If you've got some paint, I'll show you what I mean.
It's all right. Wouldn't want you to get your nice clean hands dirty.
Ow! What do you think you're doing?
Is that better?
Well, not exactly.
I'll teach you! Oh, come on, stop
it! Quite right, Flynn. Another inch, and you would have all been on a charge of defacing an officer's uniform. As it is, unnecessary disturbance will have to do.
There's no need for that, Miss Ferguson. I was just showing them the Jackson Pollock method of screen print design, very big in London this year.
I'm sure it is. Suppose that's an example you're wearing.
Matter of fact, yes. Could fetch $80 in the right boutique. Of course, if you'd like to query it with the governor.
Yeah, we both know that wouldn't do much good, don't we, Miss Reynolds? Make sure they clean this mess up before they leave.
Oh, it will be, won't it, ladies?
Yes. Hey, that was real good, kiddo.
Yeah, saved us all from being on a charge.
Hey, 3 cheers for our art teacher. Hip, hip.
Hooray!
Hooray! Hooray!
Good one.
And leave that one out, okay? I'll look at it later when I get in. Right, I've got a very urgent appointment now. Okay, Barb, I'll see you in the morning. Bye.
How many of these kids are they sending us?
Not sure of that yet. I said I'd only take 6.
And we've only got them for a week.
That's all.
Well, hell, I don't know. Well, I don't want to have to share my dorm with a bloody bloomin' delinquent. She might be a thief or something.
Didn't you say they'd be going home at nights?
That's right.
Yeah, well, that's all right then.
Any more questions?
Oh, well, Mrs. Reynolds, these girls... Well, as I understand it, you want us to talk to them about us, where we went wrong and that sort of thing.
That's right. But not unless you want to. No one's forcing you to do anything. I want you to understand that.
Fair enough.
It sounds like it could be really good therapy for all of us.
Well, yes, apparently the experiment in America went very well for the inmates as well. They discovered things about themselves, that sort of thing.
Well, it all sounds good in theory, but what about the time it's going to take? If we don't get time to ourselves, the women mightn't like that.
Oh, I don't know. I'd rather have something to do. It can get really boring in here sometimes.
Sometimes. Only 99.9% of the time.
And do you think the women would go to a lot of trouble helping some stray kids they don't even know?
How can you say that, Nora? It's our duty.
Of course it is.
Judy be buggered.
OK, we'll put it to a vote. All those in favour?
Yeah, well, I still think it's dicey.
Don't worry. I think they should go to a general vote as well. It's a big thing. We've got to know if all the women want it.
Sounds like a good idea.
It'd be really great if we could stop some kid getting put away, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so long as they keep their hands off my gear.
All right, that's all. Thank you, ladies. Nora, before I go, thank you for guiding them through that.
They made the decision.
I wouldn't like to see anyone take advantage of this situation. The idea is to keep kids out of prison.
Well, I can't guarantee anything, but we'll do our best. I mean, we're not exactly trained for this sort of thing.
Oh, I don't know. I was surprised when Lexi owned up to writing that article.
Yeah, well, that was the council, not me.
Oh, come off it. Look at the way she stuck it up the freak. That takes real guts, I reckon.
Not when your old dear's the governor. It's easy for her. She goes home to mummy when she's finished slumming it in here.
Yeah, well, I reckon she's okay. Hey, got that ciggy?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I've been thinking about the numbers game.
Yeah, at least we still got that going for us, eh? What about it?
Well, I reckon we ought to start expanding. Sell more dud tickets.
Oh, jeez, Lou. There you go playing tycoon again. I have told you before, if you go stepping out too far, you're going to end up tripping over your own feet.
No way. You just got to clear the ground first. Look, the way I see it, there's a big market out there just waiting to be cornered. I don't want some mug getting in ahead of me.
So we got official council approval. Who's going to get in ahead of us?
Forget the bloody council. They owe you compensation anyway for making your front reno.
Yeah, maybe.
Look, bit of extra cash. You won't even miss your buy-up. You'll be able to buy anything you want.
So how many extra tickets were you planning on?
15. Makes 30 all up.
Jeez, Lou, they'll spring us straight off with that many. 5. 5 at the most, and that's putting our necks on the line.
5? It's hardly bloody worth it.
5. It's me who set it up, remember?
I remember. 5 it is.
And by next year, I should be acting section head. Then you don't want to hear about that, do you? Do you?
I'm sorry, Timmy. I've had a heavy day. What were you saying?
I thought we might talk about you. The pippa behind the mask. I know nothing about you.
Well, there's not much to tell, really. Local girl goes OS to the bright lights of London. End of story.
Pippa, why tonight of all nights? I'm sorry, mate, it's not your fault. It's not the first time she's done this.
Ben, what are you talking about?
I don't mind her going out with other men. It's just that, well, you see, little Benji's sick, and I haven't been able to feed Lovis or David yet. I've done my best, but they keep crying out for their mummy.
I had no idea. I only met her the other
Ben,
day.
if this is your idea of a joke, it's not very funny.
Please, Mrs. Fulbright, we don't want any more scenes. I gave you fair warning last week.
Last week? Pippa, what on earth's going on?
I think I'm beginning to realise.
Please, would you and your husband continue this conversation outside? I'm afraid you're disturbing the guests.
Well, let's do as the man says, darling. I tried to keep away. I just couldn't, you see. It's the kids. We miss you. We all do. I'll do my best to make it work. I promise, darling.
We told her we'd put it to a general vote.
And what if we decide no? They'll dump them on us anyway.
She's not trying to force them on us. That's what this meeting is all about. To decide either way.
Why should I bust a gut helping a bunch of kids wipe their snotty noses? No one ever did nothing for me.
Oh, wake up. They're just trying to get us to do their dirty work for them. It's free labour. It's the kids we should be thinking about, not us.
Mrs. Reynolds said the program has been a big success in America.
Yeah, well, this is here. I vote no.
Surely you could be more understanding for once.
Wouldn't have minded a gander in here before we knocked over that service station. Might have thought twice about going through with it.
I think we can all come up with a story like that.
Yeah, all the girls that win Leighton when I was there thought places like this are a bit of a laugh.
I'm sure there's no one in this room that would knock back a second chance. Now that we all know what being locked up's like.
Well, Lexi, want to try arguing that one?
What are we going to teach them? First grade arithmetic?
We teach them by telling them how dreadful a place like this can be.
So we'll write them a book. I don't want no teeny boppers nipping at me ankles.
Why are you so against it? Here's a golden opportunity to stop someone from making the same mistake you did.
Don't you mean we, sweetheart? You still got a dead granny to answer for, haven't you?
We're discussing a delinquent reform program.
Frankly, I think we'd be better off with a more selective participation.
Oh, don't you go acting all lily-white plum brain. And what are you going to teach them? How to rip off your mates? How to flog off stolen goods? Oh, you can't wait, can you?
What are you so upset about? It's only kids.
It's because I'm looking at a bunch of tin-pot saints all playing goody-goody, trying to earn an elephant stamp from Renault. Putting those kids in front of you lot's like giving them on-the-job training.
She's got a point. It's pretty bloody hypocritical.
Not if we can stop them doing it themselves. If you can't see that, then you're thicker than I thought you were.
It makes sense. If we can help one kid, we'll have achieved something.
And how are we going to do that? By Graham teaching them how to smash up shops? Or you teaching them how to diddle the books? Or Flynn teaching them how to murder 3 hitchhikers in cold blood?
Yeah. Well, took you a while to get there, Kelly, but I knew you would eventually.
Huh? What do you mean?
I mean, that's exactly what we're going to do with these kids. Tell them what we did, why we did it, and why we shouldn't have done it. How we have to live with it for the rest of our lives. I reckon that qualifies all of us, don't you? Including you. Well, if no one's got anything more to say on the matter, we'll take a vote. All those in favour? Well.
That's all very well, but you treated Tim like some sort of idiot.
Well, I've got nothing against businessmen, except that they're dull, boring, and not at all your type.
He's a genuine guy who asked me out and I said yes. How do you think he feels with all that feeding the kids stuff, honestly, Ben?
I loved the look on your face when the waiter said Mrs. Fulbright. You caught your jaw before it hit the ground.
Yes, no thanks to your friend the waiter. Talk about a pair of...
Oh,
Well, where would have you been if he turned out to be an old friend who knew we weren't married?
I'd have thought of something, I dare say. You know what they say about lawyers, frustrated actors, a lot of us.
Well, if I can't give you an Oscar, at least I can offer you a cup of coffee.
Look, I'd love one, but I don't really have the time. I've got a rush, important engagement.
Engagement?
Well, you
I
know
thought
how
we'd
it
arranged...
is. I can't go breaking dates. I'll see my own way out. Bye.
Ben! Oh, watch it. Here comes a white-collar worker.
Hey, what are you doing here? Spill the ink or something?
No, there's just no more filing to do, that's all.
So they had to come and sweat with us slaves, eh?
At least they feed slaves properly. Hey, one more breakfast like that and I'll pass out.
Oh, they really must do something. I can't understand it.
Merv's doing his best.
Dry toast made out of stale bread and that tiny little bit of milk that he brought in. It's not good enough, Nora.
Yeah, I know, but it's the department we've got to have a go at, not Merv.
Yeah, if we were relying on him, we'd be skin and bone in a couple of days.
That's not fair, Lex. Nora's just said he's doing his best. Why do you always have to knock people? Why do you always have to knock people?
Look, I wasn't. All I was saying was... Bloody hell, why are you picking on me? Just get off my back, will you?
Yeah, well, you should think before you do nasty things.
No, you should have been a school teacher, Chucky.
What do you want me to do, Nora?
Give a hand with the dryers if you like.
Hey, Chucky, if you want to buy an under, you better hurry up. They're selling like hotcakes.
Hartley? Your trial's been set for tomorrow. Is there anything you want?
Oh, well, I'll have to see my solicitor
A solicitor and a barrister will be here in the morning. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck, Jen. Sorry, couldn't help overhearing.
Good on you, Jen.
We'll all be barracking for you, love. You won't have to put up with us much longer.
Thanks, May.
And as an official of this union, I hope that you will do something to see that this waste of time is stopped in its tracks.
Let's not jump in head first, Miss Ferguson. We may be missing out on a golden opportunity here.
We're understaffed enough as it is. We can't waste time running round after a bunch of juvenile delinquents.
We all know that this is a PR exercise for the department, but we must approach these things in the right way. Now, as far as the public's concerned, this scared straight thing's a genuine attempt to help these kids. We know it won't work and the hassles we're going to have, but by the same token, we can't afford to be seen to be unsympathetic. And when the whole thing blows up in their faces, we want to be able to say we gave it our best shot. It was the prisoner's fault and the administration's fault. The only blameless party to the whole exercise will be our members. Now, I can't see that doing any harm to our long-term wages and conditions campaign, can you?
Morning.
My goodness, are you all right?
I think so.
The emergency food supplies have arrived at the front gate.
Oh, not before time. Thanks for telling me, Meg. Would you mind looking after it?
I'm afraid it's not that simple. There's a problem at the front gate. I think you better go and see for yourself.
Listen, sport, you haven't got a hope in hell of getting into this place, so just do a Yui and get lost.
Come off it, mate. If I don't deliver this stuff, I don't get paid. I'm not like you blokes. This is my own truck.
Well, it's the same with all of us, pal. And these bastards are giving us a really hard time. So I reckon that puts us all in the same boat.
Terrific. This is my first contract in 2 weeks.
Sorry, mate, but that's the story.
What's going on?
Who are you?
Anne Reynolds. I'm the governor of the prison.
Oh, well, I'm Harry Wheeler. We're all blockading this place until we see some action. We're all owner-drivers, right? When the department goes and cancels its contract on Bullock, we all lose our livelihoods. We're not going to sit around and watch our jobs go down the drain.
How am I supposed to feed the prisoners in the meantime?
Forget it, Mrs. Reynolds. You've got a storeroom in there. Use it. I'm sorry, lady, but this is the only pool we've got.
Look, how about if I unload the stuff right here?
No
so she can-
way! That stuff's not crossing this line.
Sorry, lady. There's nothing I can do.
He used to give me roses. I wish he could again. But that was on the outside, and things were different then. On the inside, the sun still shines, and the rain falls down. But the sun and rain are prisoners too when morning comes around. Last night I dreamed we were together, sharing all the love we'd known, till I had to face the nightmare of waking up alone. On the inside, the roses grow. They don't mind the stony ground, but the roses here are prisoners too comes around.